Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Anklet beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup Lockdown, where we are covering Season 2, Episode 16. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group at Love After Lockup Lockdown or on Instagram at LALU Lockdown. I am Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we're covering Season 2, Episode 16, Truth and Lies. This is an episode of Life After Lockup. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing good, and I have a story to tell you, and sometimes I wonder why I don't tell you these stories, because we talk literally every day of our lives for five years. So I have I have a two-story house. Well, 3 stories if you count the basement. And Dave and I are getting older and lazier, and we don't want to necessarily lug shit up and down the stairs. So we had 2 vacuum cleaners, one from our apartment and then one that came with the house that we bought. So we essentially had an upstairs vacuum and a downstairs vacuum, which why wouldn't you if you have 2 vacuums? But I'm an idiot, and it rained, and we have rugs outside on our patio, and I'm like, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna vacuum the outside rug, not really thinking, hey, this rug's super wet and I probably shouldn't vacuum a super wet rug. And the vacuum that came with the house was a really nice vacuum. It was probably expensive. It was a Shark. It was super heavy and it was very strong. So I take it outside and I start vacuuming, and all of a sudden it starts smelling and making super weird noises and bubbling like out of the front because
That's weird.
it was sucking water from the rug all the way up
Oh,
through the motor. And so I just blew the motor in the well, so when you turn it on, it's still the brush still rotates, but it doesn't suck. So Dave took it apart and tried to fix it, but it's a no-go because I seized up and rusted the motor.
I've never known anyone who has tried to vacuum an outside rug. Usually they just pick them up and shake them off.
Well, it's a big rug, but I vacuum it all the time, but just not when it's soaking wet. But I'm an idiot because I did buy a rug shampooer, which can fully suck up and dry a rug and also act as a vacuum. So I could have just used that, but I didn't. So the next time I did it, I used my rug shampooer to suck the water up and dog hair or whatever. But yeah, so I messed up the vacuum. So now I'm using this little tiny apartment sized vacuum. And yeah. So, and I don't want to buy a new vacuum. I'll have to at some point, but not right now.
Well, this week we start off with Megan, Michael, and Sarah. At his release, his mom asked to talk to Megan.
Yeah. This looked like it was going to be a lot more than it was. It looked like it was going to be like a throwdown. They hyped it up a lot more. It wound up being kind of like a non-exciting moment. She just was like, when you found out that he was married, did that change things for you? And Megan's basically like, no.
Right. That should have
In a
changed
nutshell,
everything.
pretty much no.
I mean, both of his mom and his sister both are on Sarah's side. I would say Day Day more than mom, just because Day
Yeah,
Day actually is defending Sarah online.
absolutely. And then Megan says that Michael and Sarah fight a lot. And Mom basically says, well, that's because of you. Like, they're
Right.
fighting a lot because of you. And that's pretty much been the basis of all of their fights, is not just Megan, but all the other women. And
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't Sarah be fighting with him about him being, with other women and talking with other women behind his or her back? It makes sense.
His mom says that she's getting the first hug and Megan better not get in his way, in her way.
Yeah. So Megan agrees she's going to give Mom space to be with Michael when he gets released. But we do find out that literally Michael's planning on riding with Megan to the house, to Mom's house. And Mom's just like, yeah, but you got to keep it outside. Like, I don't want this in my house.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
And you can't blame mom for that.
Yeah.
Megan says she doesn't understand where the animosity towards her comes from. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Everybody's very honest about where this is all stemming from, as if you didn't know.
So say Megan had gone away after she found out about Sarah, we'd have no problem here. Megan should just not simply not be in the picture anymore,
Correct.
but she is. So we shouldn't even be talking about her. The family shouldn't even be discussing her at this point, because Megan should just have been like, yeah, you're a loser, you're a cheater, and you're a liar, and bye. But she didn't.
Right. While your wife is at home getting ready to have your baby, let's go lunch.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right. He comes out and hugs his mom. We find out that he has to wear his ankle monitor for 90 days.
Yep. So he's free, but he's still locked up. Well, let's see if he's going to actually follow the rules this time, because we know he didn't follow the rules last time. What are the steps that Clint was talking about with Tracie? The rules of parole.
First rule of Prison Club, don't go
He
back
needs to
to
put them on
prison.
his fridge. Yeah, first rule of prison club. Wear wear your mate ankle monitor.
But he comes out and he's talking to Day Day about her fight with Megan. And I honestly, I don't blame Day Day. Like, somebody needs to defend Sarah here because Michael sure isn't doing it.
Yeah, the fact that Megan thinks that she has any sort of an argument in any of this is nuts. I mean, this is a married man with a pregnant wife and a small child. Where are you coming off thinking you have any sort of right for anyone to stick up for you at all? I don't understand.
I completely agree.
You're aware of it now. Back when you weren't, maybe, but you're aware now.
Megan's like bombarding him with questions, and he, typical Michael form, it's just excuses and lies.
Yeah, he's just full of crap all the time. And he will go back and forth. And this is like he goes in circles. He just lies and keeps on lying and keeps on lying. He is just always lying.
Yeah. She wants answers from him before she tells him her secret, which, as we've discussed before, is probably something stupid.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about this secret because I'm so freaking frustrated about it. And we'll go on about this secret. So
Forever.
Megan, yeah, literally forever. Megan asks Michael if everything was fake. He says he was being genuine, freaking not even close to being true. Megan says she deserves to be aware of everything. Well, Sarah does too, more than you do. Because you're not going to believe it, or you're just going to believe all the lies anyways. So what the hell does it matter? He can say whatever the hell he wants to and you're going to believe it. So,
Because she wants to. And I think, like,
mhm.
I kind of get the feeling like she feels like if she stays with him, that she's won. Like, it's some kind of weird competition between her and Sarah. But Sarah's his wife. You're a side piece. Next up, Andrea and Lamar. And Andrea and Nyla are grocery shopping. He will be released the following day.
Hmm. And they're at a, a local, I want to say ethnic grocery store, like a mini mart type corner little store. And Nyla's like, I'm pretty sure you can get food poisoning from this store.
Oh, I didn't hear her say that.
Yeah. And Andrea is like, this is the neighborhood we live in. So basically, just like, this is what we got. Get over it.
Nyla says she's upset with Lamar for going back to jail, and I think like all of the kids are really upset, but Tennyson and Nyla seem to really feel betrayed by him going back.
Yeah. We did miss a lot of the story, though. We didn't really get much of the story. Season one just kind of ended, and then we missed a huge part of what might
Right.
have gone on within the family because clearly they did build some sort of bond. We'll hear a little bit about that because last we knew the kids didn't like him, and now we hear they got close to him. So her Mormon friends are actually FaceTiming her from Utah while she's in the store. So, and the friends are, of course, asking if the grocery stores there are posh and if they have celebrities in them. And we just talked about it, and we know that clearly she's not in that type of area. But people from the outside looking in hear LA and they think that it's like, all like glitz and glam, and it's clearly not everywhere. Um, but Andrea's like, well, LA is kind of like a culture shock, and Nyla is super emotional and she's upset because Lamar, this is where we were talking about Lamar broke her heart and abandoned the family that he bonded with.
Right. And I understand it would be very upsetting for something like that to happen, but Andrea, in her very dramatic self, starts crying in the grocery store and hangs up the phone. And Nyla comes over to comfort her.
Yeah. And it's very much where like Andrea's children have had to, and they sound and act like adults, and they've had no choice but to be grown-ups way too soon, you can tell. They literally act like little grown-ups, way beyond their years. And basically, Nyla said that she just doesn't trust African American men.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's a sad situation to be.
Hmm.
Next up, Clint and Tracie. She has a day left on probation and she is still pushing him to meet Alice. She wants them to just show up at her house.
Yeah. Oh, these two are such a shit show. I'm sorry.
There's
It's
something else.
terrible.
It's both of them. And I think I sent you the video today where the woman said she knew Tracie in prison, but I don't know if you caught this. That lady said that they used crack on their wedding night. She said they. So I thought that was interesting. Who's to say if that's true or not? She also said the baby was his that Tracie had, which we know isn't true.
It's not. And you know what, though? I mean, people, you don't know what you can trust out there. There are a lot of people who claim to know people from these shows, and it's not true. And yes, Tracie did have children, not with Clint. Clint wound up with someone else. And I don't think that you can just casually use crack. So I think Clint was or did have substance abuse problems, but I don't think he used crack with Tracie. Not sure. We don't know.
Yeah, we
But
don't know.
yeah.
Did you hear him mention a restraining order?
No.
When she was pushing him, he mentioned something about a restraining order, but I wasn't sure what specifically he was referring to.
I didn't hear that. But they just basically show up to Alice's, which takes a lot of balls. Clint says his mom has no interest in meeting Tracie, and they're just pulling up to mom and dad's giant estate, which now this is the first time I think we've actually seen the outside of the house. And that explains a lot in my mind. Whereas like mom's just like doesn't want to lose that or jeopardize it because they clearly have a lot to lose, and they don't. That's where I'm going with this. They're business owners.
I bet you they've worked really hard to have what they do have, and for him to
Yeah.
just be so whatever, so flippant about the whole situation has got to be frustrating to them and scary.
Mhm.
But Tracie tells him to make it happen, and he goes off to talk to Alice. Next up, Brittany and Marcelino. She is exactly 1 year out of prison.
Yeah, so she's been up all night with the baby, and she says that she's crammed 12 years of adulthood in 1 year. And I totally could feel what she was saying at that point in time. I understand. I don't understand what she means, but I got it. I get what she means. She did do a lot in 1 year.
Right,
This
she
woman,
did.
a lot. So yeah, she probably deserves to be super tired.
She's cooking, and he comes in and asks where the kids are, and she says that his mom has already picked them up. And this is where we find out. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I know where you're going.
This is where we find out that he apparently has a new career as a poker player, which he's doing like 3 or 4 nights a week, which they imply is paying their bills.
Yeah, so she wants him to do it in the daytime, which is gonna that'd be difficult. Clearly, he's now becoming a professional gambler. They're in Vegas, so it is a thing, and probably takes a lot of concerted effort and probably just really not feasible for him to do during the day. So she's just like, we got to figure out a schedule here because she's exhausted and this is just not working out the way they're doing things.
He does say he had no idea that she felt that way. I would guess that he's not paying attention if he didn't notice.
No, it seems like she's a stay-at-home mom and he's probably trying to keep it that way. She says in prison she doesn't have to really worry about anything, but now she's just got the world on her shoulders. So it's a lot.
He says that Sasha and Amanda are liabilities, and honestly, he's right.
Mhm.
I like Sasha a lot, but she is a liability, and Brittany is taking a risk every single time she is with them.
Yeah, and like we did find out how serious a criminal Sasha actually is, and we were worried about Amanda. And Sasha's actually much more of a threat. She basically is just saying that she needs for him to be more supportive too. And I don't know if he was basically saying find better friends so that you can have a support system, but just not those friends. Because you
Yeah.
need support, but not them.
He seems like he would be happier if she didn't have any friends and she just solely
Yeah,
relied on him.
but you can't. But yeah, I get. I think he'd be unhappy with any friend.
Hmm. Back to Clint and Tracie, she is awkwardly trying to jump on the truck. It was so weird looking.
I'm sorry. So Clint's just trying to get a hold of his mom, and like we said, Tracy's almost finished with her parole, so therefore we think, well, mom, of course, now should just be on board with everything, right?
I don't think I would ever meet her. And we talked about this too because every time Clint talks about Tracie meeting Alice, he's like, "Oh, I'm so worried that my mom's not going to like Tracie or won't meet Tracie, and then she's going to relapse." And like you said, you have to be able to face things in life. You have to be able to come up against something and not relapse every time.
Yeah. They're basically, well, yeah. Clint is almost like with Tracy on the like fact that like everything's like eggshells. Oh, can't do this, or Tracy will use again. Can't do that, or Tracy will drink again. You know what I mean? It's just that's not how it works, kids. But and I feel like mom is like, yeah, we don't live like that.
Right.
It's too intruding on people's lives. We gotta watch what we say around Tracy. Gotta watch what we do around Tracy. So wouldn't it be great if all of us could just live like that? So he just doesn't feel like uh Tracy has a good grasp on how to stay out of trouble. That is the most logical statement I have ever heard Clint say. Honest to God. Like, right?
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Alice gets super mad and She talks to him about boundaries and says she has no interest in meeting Tracie whatsoever.
This is not behavior of an adult man, a very adult man. This is like, not, I mean, this is like a teenager showing up with a friend and being like, hey, mom, I know you said Jim couldn't come over, but can he? Like, what
Yep,
are we doing here? Like, why are you doing this? This is like very juvenile type behavior, not something that you should be doing as an adult to your own parent.
I agree. Alice says Tracie has a lot of audacity, and I 100% agree on that.
Yeah, both of them have a lot of audacity. She's just beside herself.
He goes out and tells her that they'll try again on another day. So Tracie finds it unacceptable that Alice won't try to forgive her. Unacceptable, really? How about stealing a rental car? How about using crack on your wedding night? How about running away from your husband? Those, those are things that are unacceptable. Alice choosing not to meet you, not unacceptable. Perfectly understandable.
Yeah, Tracy's pissed, and then here's where we were talking about the walking on eggshells. So Clint says he doesn't want to go through Tracy being locked up again. Mom upsets Tracy. Tracy's gonna go use or whatever, get locked up again. Come on now. And Tracy says, oh, I used to turn to drugs to cope. They make you forget. They make you not feel pain. They make you feel happy.
Yeah, she's a mess, to say the least.
It's the entitlement. Like, why do you get that escape? And the whole, and like everyone who's not a substance abuser doesn't, you know? Like, what do we get?
She needs to work on, this is what we said before, she needs to work on herself so that she can show Alice that she's trying, not just say, I deserve to have this because I want it. That's just not the way life works. You know who else doesn't know that that's not the way life works? Scott and Lizzie.
Yeah.
And Lizzie is on FaceTime with Jasmine to get help choosing an outfit for this date she's got.
Yeah. And okay, now did you see the boobies? And she even talked about them.
I did, yeah. She says she's going for sexy.
Yeah. So she's got this red dress and she's like, look at me and look at these giant boobs.
She is so full of herself.
Someone paid for those boobs and I want to know who it is. Um, Jasmine says, just have fun, but don't scare him away. And this entire time, I thought I was spelling Jasmine right, and I was not. And I hope that they didn't just change the name or the spelling of the name Jasmine, but it's like got a Y in it, and I've been just
Mhm.
spelling it like the herb.
So Scott shows up at a restaurant for a blind date that Charlene set up for him. I think it was very kind of Charlene to set this date up to begin with, knowing that Scott's as hung up on Lizzie as he is.
Yeah. And of course, in Scott fashion, he says he's nervous that she may not show up. That's
Right.
exactly what I would expect Scott to say.
But she does. So awkward.
Because isn't the first thing that you do when you're on a blind date with another woman is to talk about your ex? Isn't that what you do? Because that's what Scott does.
Just nobody wants to hear about your ex. Just take that. That is just advice. Nobody wants to hear about your ex.
No, and he says stuff that would scare anyone away, by the way. It does. It does scare her away.
You can tell she's uncomfortable.
Yeah, she thinks he's crazy, basically. We also show Lizzie on her date. Well, she's like waiting for her date and she's spraying herself, spraying her cooch, spraying everything, waiting for her date. She's got some sparkly shoes on. She actually does look really pretty.
But he shows up, and I don't know about you, but she looks way out of his age range. I don't know what he was looking for, but she looks twice his age. Like, he looked very young.
Well, they met on Tinder, and you know that you can doctor up your Tinder photos to look much younger. It happens all the time.
She probably did, too, yeah.
Oh yeah, and she could easily look super young with just a minor filter. They look very mismatched, like you
Oh
said.
yeah,
Yeah, very mismatched. He was just like not, I don't think he was having it either.
he wasn't feeling that.
No. And then, which I loved this part, he's like, "You want to split the bill?" And
He
I'm
said it
like,
was
"Oh
more
man."
expensive, more than I thought it was going to be. You want to split
Yep.
it?
She even ordered non-alcoholic drinks and told him about being a heroin addict, by the way. Prison.
Right. But she's not the only one spreading this information. Scott hands flowers to his blind date and says, "Oh, my ex was incarcerated for 10 years." And then this is where we find out that she got him for 142.
Yeah, I think we were adding in the car on that probably, and then like the shopping and all the hotel, and that had to be all of that all tacked on because we don't know how expensive that car was.
I don't know, but I mean, that was his figure, and it's pretty specific.
Mm-hmm.
142.
Yeah, 142 and 50 cents.
Right. I like her date's response when she's like, "Oh yeah, I was in prison for 10 years and I'm a heroin addict, blah blah blah." He's like, "Haha, dang."
Yeah. And in the end, like when he does say, "Should we split this?" Lizzie's like, "Yeah, I'll offer $25." And this is so totally not something she's used to because she's used to the men paying every dime. And I'm like, "All right, Lizzie, welcome to reality because this is real life now. This is how it is. You're a 40-something-year-old woman. Times are changing."
But she's not used to that because we find out that even after they broke up, Scott gave her more money. He still supported her. When he told her he would help her get on her feet, he did. And when I was questioning where she got money after just a few weeks of working to have an apartment, well, I guess we know now. I'm sure the money
Now
came
we
from
know.
him. Right.
Hmm.
So his date asks if he would give her money. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, if I had it." And she says, "You need therapy, man." And she's not wrong.
Yeah. Oh gosh. That was a terrible mismatch. Terrible.
I don't know if they took like their worst dates possible, if they went out on several dates and then they just took like the worst one or what, but what a
Yeah,
mess.
both of them were awful.
Jumping back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah, and Megan and Michael go to a restaurant to talk.
Yeah. So he's like, "Well, the last time we met, it didn't go so well. I got incarcerated."
She asks him why he lied, and he says he just didn't tell her things. "I didn't lie, I just didn't tell you things because he could handle it." "I am sorry, sir, but you have not handled anything. Ever. Megan's virginity you handled."
Yeah, ew. That's so gross. Oh god, that's so gross. Megan asks how many other girls were there, and Sarah said that he was cheating on her the entire time. So Megan basically wants to know how many other girls were there, and he doesn't really say. So Michael's like, "Well, Sarah and I were going through hell." But that doesn't you weren't going through hell and then using girls to get over the hell. You were going through hell because of the other girls.
Right. His answer to that was, "You can't cheat on who you aren't with." But are you with Megan? Because you slept with Sarah. So if you're not with Megan and you're not with Sarah, is that what you're really saying? Because he says all kinds of heinous things. He says his marriage to Sarah wasn't legitimate. He says the only reason he married Sarah is because of Aviana. Okay, is that why you got her pregnant again, you piece of shit?
But the baby is solid concrete proof that Michael cheated on Megan.
Right.
So where are we at here?
I really feel like he just thinks if he says something, then suddenly it's true. He says, "Oh, I wasn't trying to manipulate you." Yes, you absolutely were. That was exactly what you were trying to do.
This here, where Megan asks, "Do you love Sarah?" And he says, "Yes, but I'm not in love with Sarah." See, the second he said yes, I would have just smacked him and walked away and never talked to him again.
I would have been gone a long time. It's not even a matter of seeing red flags at this point. She knows. She knows the truth, and she is choosing to do what she wants anyway. He says he's going to get a divorce when he gets situated, but I mean, this is all the same kind of bullshit that he's been feeding her the whole time anyway.
No, he's not. He's going to wait till Sarah gets the divorce.
I think, if I am not mistaken, that to this day, Sarah and Michael are still legally married.
I'll have to look that up. So we're back with Sarah, and Sarah's shopping for baby clothes, and basically Day Day calls her and tells her Michael's with Megan. And good job, Day Day, because I'm on board.
I'm right on, Day Day. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what she should have done.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping back over to Scott and Lizzie, and she's talking to a coworker about getting on dating sites.
Okay, was I the only one who was thinking that this coworker was secretly hoping that, or he has a crush on her, or was hoping that she'd be like, "Hey, do you want to go on a date with me?" Did you not get that from
I thought
him?
the exact same thing. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought. But then she's like, oh, I want someone who's cute, an alpha, honest, caring, Christian. And then what does she do to him? The worst possible thing she could say. You have a brother? That is so insulting.
Because there's always got to be an ugly duckling and then a hot brother, right?
Oh, that was something else.
Did you get loves animals in there? Loves animals.
Oh, no, I missed that one.
Knocks on
Jeez.
fences for horses.
So that was a short scene, and we're back to Andrea and Lamar, and she's driving to the prison to pick him up. She said she had a dress pick. She said she had a dress, but woke up in a different mood.
I really liked Andrea in this episode. I'm sorry. I just really did. She was cracking me up. So when Lamar got out of prison, she said she was a stay-at-home mom. She was working and going to school. She was able to be a Mormon wife. Now she basically had to get a job and she had to get an LA license, and she's basically been living as a single mom when this is not how she wanted things to be.
Right. She had to get a job and learn how to function on her own, is what she said. I mean, she was on her own in Utah, but I would imagine that being on your own in LA where you don't know anybody would be
Yep.
significantly harder.
No support but your kids.
Right. I think she's leaned on her kids a whole lot through their lives. She says she's stronger now and he'll have to get used to it.
Yep. She's proud of who she's become. Yeah, she's way more independent. So here's the part where I was just like, just think we make fun of her and we have problems with her, but she also cracks me up because she has a sense of humor. So she's messing with Lamar, and she's basically standing at the car and she's talking with him and she's watching him on the payphone, and she's telling him that she's at home while he's on the phone. And she's like, "What? I'm supposed to pick you up? What are you talking about? I'm at home." And she's watching him and she's just standing there, literally watching him on the phone. And I was laughing. And I'm like, he deserves this.
She's like, but she's definitely less excited to see him this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Like, she's not making all those weird noises. And
No. No, put a huge rift in their relationship. But I like that she still was able to do lighthearted things.
he asks her where his car is, and she's upset that that's his first question. I would be
Mhm.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
She continues to mess with him and tells him that she sold his car, and he's pissed off.
Yeah, she just keeps this going. Um they kiss. He's upset that he let her down. I feel like he is. No, I don't feel like he's a jerk. Um he is a jerk for worrying about his car.
What is the comment that he says that he worked hard for that car? Didn't she buy him that car?
It's a different car.
Oh, Okay.
It looked like a different car when they showed the car. I wondered that too, but it didn't look like that car. It looked like a much nicer, newer car. When she says when you went back to jail, we had to sell your car. And he's like, "That's messed up, bro." She's like, "I'm not a bro. What do you think? I'm a man?" And I would have said the same thing. I don't want to be called bro.
But he doesn't take any responsibility for getting arrested again. He says it's not his fault. And
Yeah.
it is. Like, you made a choice, whether you knew about the gun or not, like, you made a choice to be running in the streets when you knew you weren't allowed to be.
Yeah, I mean, you know who carries guns in your crowd and who doesn't. Let's be
Right.
honest. You know there was a strong possibility whoever he was with could have a gun. Let's just get that out here. So he's worried and concerned about how the kids are feeling and if they can get back to the way that it was before he went back to jail.
And they wrap that scene up with the pulling up, and he sees that his car is not sold.
Yeah. And I like I thought it was I really I'm so glad she did at least something. It was something so small, but he deserved it, and I just thought it was really funny. It was a small thing for such a giant thing that he did to her, but it was funny.
We wrap this episode up with Megan, Michael, and Sarah. And Sarah says she's not stable enough to deal with the Megan situation. And I think that is a very mature and self aware statement. Like, this is not the time to try to be dealing with this.
Yeah. It's just 2 hours out of jail and he's at his mom's house and then he's with Megan and it's just nuts. That's the first thing you do out of jail. You're with it's crazy. And this is basically Megan's the whole reason why he went because he was fucking around with her, missed his appointment. He had
He
5
made that
hours to get
choice.
there. Yeah.
Right.
But he's basically doing this all over again. It's just crazy. And then we go back to this whole fucking Megan has a secret thing. And I'm like, just tell us already. And they still don't tell us what this damn secret is. And I'm like, this better be fucking worth it. Cause again, this another whole episode where we're saying Megan has a secret and we don't know what it is.
It's not going to be worth shit. He calls Sarah on FaceTime like he's innocent. And Sarah's like, "Hey, are you calling me? What do you want?" And she confronts him like, "Hey, I know that you were with Megan."
Yeah. Yeah, she's yelling at him, and whenever she yells at him, she uses her selective ebonics, and she's just basically screaming at him. Michael has the balls to say, Sarah, chill out. What?
Yeah. He tells her that he's going to answer any question she has, and she hangs up on him, which I would too. I mean, I guess you have to answer. I would not be messaging this guy and be like, "Hey, your baby's going to be born," or anything else. I would just cut contact. Your
Yeah.
kids are so important to you that you can't stop messing with your side piece? I don't think so.
His kids are not important to him at all. He's just doing that for the show, basically. The actual show and for show. And then he asks her, do you want a divorce or not?
Right.
Come on.
Yes, Michael. I want a divorce and I'm not even married to you.
Yeah, the world wants a divorce from Michael.
So, who is your VIP for this episode?
I'm gonna go with Andrea because I just really loved what she did to Lamar.
I chose Brittany for just kind of pulling herself together. You know, she seems to be doing the best out of everybody right now.
Good choice.
Who's your POS?
Megan. I'm sorry.
Still Megan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back to Michael because he was so flippant with Sarah, and I cannot stand the way that he talked to her. But again, Megan is, she knows now, so I have no sympathy for her either. I guess it could be a tie between Michael and
Yeah.
Megan there. Yeah.
They belong together at this point, honestly.
And then when he cheats on her, she'd be on the other side of it.
Yep.
So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, 1 rose from a gas station. She said, oh babe, now that's validation. We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. Matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said, don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.